I'm Jim from Come Play With Us, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Wyrmspan. This is a game from Stonemaier Games. Plays 1 to 5 players in about 90 minutes. As per usual, I will not be doing a full overview in this video. I have done a playthrough on my channel, and I'll link to it in the show notes below. So, just to start, I guess I'll level set here and say that I was not a fan of Wingspan, which is the predecessor to Wyrmspan, which this is based on. I only played it, a couple times, and I thought it was all right, but birds aren't really my thing, and I just thought it was a so-so kind of engine building game. I really didn't like the dice rolling for the resources. Didn't feel like that gave you much agency over the resources you needed for your cards, and that was probably my biggest issue with the game. Otherwise, I just thought it was just kind of an average engine building kind of game with some nice art, and it was an interesting theme. I can see how it did really well. I mean, it started the whole nature thing in games, which is still going to this day. So I could see how it had success, but it just wasn't my thing. I like nature games, but birds are just aren't my thing. So when this came out, I was kind of intrigued because I heard from the reviews and stuff that they had fixed a few of the problems. Mainly, they took out the dice, which was my biggest problem with the game, and also dragons is a much more interesting theme to me, and the art is just gorgeous. So let's get to the review. Start with the components. As usual for the Stonemaier games, if you've ever played any Stonemaier games, this one's on par with the component quality for that. I love their component quality and art in Stonemaier games. I think they always do a really good job on that. The dragon art is gorgeous. The quality of the components is nice thick cardstock. As usual, I mean I sleeve all my cards, but the cards in here, they're good quality cardstock. They're thick. They don't really need to be sleeved. You will be shuffling them quite a bit, so I like to sleeve my cards, so I sleeve them, especially in card type games like this. I will sleeve them. These are non-standard, so I haven't sleeved these. I probably won't sleeve these small cards because it's probably not worth it. But I did sleeve the regular size ones. And I mean the standout components here, of course, these eggs are pretty awesome. They're like wooden eggs, and they have like little basically stand up. They're brightly colored and stuff. I really love. That's a nice little touch to the game. It makes the game pop. So yeah, really high quality components. There is no insert in this game. I always find Stonemaier's a little strange with their. Sometimes they have inserts, sometimes they don't, and sometimes they just throw random things in the box. So you get this. This holds the cards nicely, so that's awesome. That you have. I think it's for these cards because they fit in there perfectly. There's nothing though for these cards, and I mean you get 3 of these trays as well, and they have lids on them. That 3 for, I don't know. I put the eggs in there. 2 of them can hold 2 eggs, but I mean there's way more resources in this game than you would put in 3 trays, so it's just kind of random what these trays are for. They are nice trays, but I'm not really quite sure what they're for. So thanks for putting them in there. But yeah, as how it's stored, I mean I just throw everything in the box anyway, so and bag it up. But yeah, always kind of odd I find their their inserts or what they put in there for organization. That's pretty much all I have to say about the components for this one. So let's talk a bit about the mechanics of this one. So if you've played Wingspan, it's very similar to Wingspan. You still have the 3 zones where you're going to be putting your cards in, and you're building kind of horizontal engines here. And the cards, depending on the cards you play there, they can interact with cards in other rows or adjacent. Sometimes you'll be doing set collecting, that kind of thing. The big change with this from Wingspan is these caves. So now these spaces, you have to open them up by playing cave cards to them before you can play dragons in those spaces. And these cave cards will give you a one-time benefit when you play them. So that's pretty cool because you're kind of checking out which bonuses you want to use with your strategy to open them up. And sometimes they chain, so they'll one location or one cave card will let you play another cave card, and you can get that kind of chain going. That's kind of cool. I like how the engine works. So the engine is really interesting here. That you can run the engine multiple times, and it gets more and more expensive every time you run it. So that's kind of interesting. The other mechanic that I like in this game, I like these objectives. So every round there's going to be an objective, and there's a lot. They're randomly put out there, and there's a lot of them in the box. These are double-sided, so it'll be a little different every game. I like that, and then it gives you something to go for every round. Basically, this is what where the set collection comes from, because like you see here, the ones that I've got out here right now, you want whoever has the most shy dragons, whoever has the most aggressive dragons, dragons with player powers, and most hatchlings. So that's cool. I like that they're all out there at the beginning of the game. The first one is kind of difficult to go. This first one can be kind of lucky, depending on card draws and stuff, because the first round's kind of short, and it could be just the luck of the draw if you get the right cards to play down to get that one. But it's the lowest scoring of them all, so it's not going to have a big swing to the game. And of course, the other ones you've got lots of time for. The other big new mechanical thing in this, I don't believe this was in Wyrmspan, is this Dragon Guild sideboard here, where you're doing. I don't know if you consider this a rondel or a track. It's probably more of a track, but that just keeps going around and around. And you get bonuses every time you move around this thing. And when you get to these these two spaces, these brown spaces, then you get to put a cube on the guild tile here, and that will give you. You can either take points, or it'll give you some kind of super ability, one-time bonus. So this is really cool. I like this. Adds a little bit more interaction into the game, so I like that. And again, these are double-sided, and there's 4 of them, so more variability, so it won't be the same every game. And the turn structure is pretty simple. I like there's only 3 actions here, so it's really quick and snappy, and then the turns can go around pretty quick. So yeah, all that's good. So that's basically what's going on here with the mechanics, and you're just gonna play until each round will go until everybody passes, and then you'll go into the next round, and there's 4 rounds, so it's pretty quick. Okay, so what don't I like about this game? There's not much really that I could say I don't like. Like I've already mentioned, the first round objective here can be a little bit random, because you really don't have much time to get to this, especially in the solo game. Because in the solo game, I mean, obviously the automata doesn't have to actually collect shy dragons. It just randomly, well, not randomly, but based on the card draws and stuff and the way the automa works, it'll come up with a score that the automa gets for this, and you might not see a shy dragon, so you might not get an opportunity to even score here. So that's probably my biggest complaint about that, is just this first one. I mean, the other ones you have time to go for, but they can still be kind of unlucky, right? So like, especially this hatchlings one. I don't know how many hatchlings are in the deck, but I have barely seen a hatchling in the deck in the games that I've played. And if you watch my playthrough, I spent the whole game looking for hatchlings, and did not find. I think there was one that flopped, and I didn't even get a chance to get it. So these can be a little bit lucky sometimes, but yeah, it's not a that big deal. Like, especially for the rounds 2 to 4, you should have plenty of time to go for those. So that's pretty cool. That's about the only thing I could say. I mean, the only other thing is that this is a fairly typical engine building game. So if you've played games like Earth, or Race for the Galaxy, or any of those kind of engine building kind of games, this isn't going to blow your socks off. It's in the same vein. I find it probably average as far as engine building goes, compared to some of the big ones. Like I said, I think one of my favorites is Earth. I think I prefer Earth over this, but it's still I love engine building games, so it's still I like the dragon theme. So it's not really much. It's just not a very standout engine building game. I think it's a decent engine building game. So what do I like about this game? I love the theme. I love the dragon theme with this. I love the art, and I like the fact that you have to open up the cave spaces before you can place your dragons there. It gives you some decisions to make. I like that they added this Dragon Guild board because it gives you another piece of interactivity in what would otherwise be a fairly multiplayer solitaire game. So now you got kind of two or three ways to interact. You know, there's the card drafting, so getting the cards before somebody else. There's going for these goal or objective cards here to get first, you know, second or third. And then there's now you've also got this Dragon Guild board that you're competing on for spaces on here to get these bonuses. So it just adds a, you know, a little. I like when games like this try to add some interactivity in there, so you're not just staring at your board the whole game and looking up at the end and comparing scores. So I like that they added this. It does make it a better game than Wingspan, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, I just, like I said, I just really like engine building games, and this is it's an average engine building game, but it's still a very decent engine building game. So it does kind of stand up there with you know, some of the better ones. So yeah, I really do enjoy it. I mean, the components are beautiful, so that helps to you make it an enjoyable experience. And it's just kind of neat, and all the you know, the detail that went into the dragons, looking at all the different kinds of dragons there are, and the pictures. They have a book that has all the lore of the dragons. I don't think I'll ever look at that, but you know, that's a nice little touch, I guess. But you know, just the theme in general kind of brings you in and makes this a fun game for me, in my opinion. And the other thing I like about this is it's easy to teach. There's very few rules. There's only 3 actions, and you know, the games can go quite quick if everybody knows what they're doing. And you know, it's just building your engines and watching them go. So that I really like that kind of game. So if you like, you know, engine building games, this is and you like the theme, this is a really good one to get into. Like I said, it's easy to teach, and you know, it's a really nice game. So overall, I think I'm going to give this game an 8. A solid engine building game with really nice components and beautiful art. I think it is an improvement over Wingspan. Wingspan wasn't, again, like I said, Wingspan wasn't a game that I thought was, I mean, I thought it was a decent game. I think for me, that game was probably, yeah, a 7 or something like that. But this one I enjoy a lot more. I like the extra added, the caves and the guild board that they added. I do, and the fact that they got rid of the dice for the resources. I like to be able to, the fact that you could just get the resources you need makes the game flow a lot better. So yeah, really good, another good game by Stonemaier Games. And yeah, I think they've been on a bit of a roll lately with their last few games after they had a little bit of a slump. But they're making a comeback with these last couple of games that they put up. As usual, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.